shame that we'll never know what that was going to look like. Rich writes in, should the Dangerous Alliance be inducted into the Hall of Fame as a group? We've talked about this group a lot on Eric's podcast and on Tony's podcast, that perhaps it's the greatest, sort of faction that nobody really talks about. When you look at the talent who was on that squad, I mean, of course, Larry Zbyszko, but Medusa, arguably in that era, the greatest women's wrestler ever. Bobby Eaton, his resume speaks for itself. Yourself, Rick Rude. We know what Steve Austin would become. And then one of the all-time great managers, Paulie Dangerously. It almost feels like if the Horsemen never existed, this could have been remembered as the greatest faction ever up to that point. Would you disagree?
No, I would not. It's one of those things that you go, I would say, just listing off all those names, if you took their individual bodies of work and separated them out, and then you looked at that group collectively, at their continued body of work, it would hard to be, it would maybe hard to not even put them in like that top 2 or 3 factions of all time, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, I think the other thing that hurts it is, for whatever reason, WCW booking was just what it was at the time, and it didn't have a long shelf life. But imagine if they really gave that group at a different era some time, like a DX, like an NWO. I mean, seemingly the run is 6 months and then we're done, but with a little bit of time, man, that's unbelievable.
I think you just hit it on the head. To be honest with you, Conrad, you just nailed it. There's also something to be said, just because you had that collection of guys together and you go, Jesus Christ, what a lineup. 6 months is not a long time.
Right.
And part of being in the Hall of Fame, I would suggest, should be credible work rate over a long period of time, day in and day out, which puts you in a position to have, I'm saying years, to truly be considered a Hall of Famer. You need to have performed under every circumstance imaginable, every adversity imaginable, and under every set of bad situations that you could put in front of them, they just overcome it. That's a Hall of Famer.
It's just fascinating to think about, especially with all these other alliances going in or factions rather.